Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to, what is this? Our
Fourth.
fourth?
Nope. Yeah, four.
Fourth? Fifth? Fourth episode of Two Peas Potting, a podcast filled with bookish banter and a side of judgment.
If you want to call it a side.
A dash, or as Kylie would say, a little razzle-dazzle.
Get in with the old razzle-dazzle of judgment.
Today, we're going to talk about The Housemaid by Freida McFadden.
Yes.
What's that book?
My girl. We're talking about my girl again today.
We are talking about your girl. This book,
Man.
I'm glad I finally read it because I bought that book 3 years ago.
Jesus.
When I started reading again. Like, everyone's like, oh, The Housemaid. That's like when The Housemaid like blew up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it. I've heard it's really good. And it's been sitting on my shelf. I'm like, yeah, I'll read it. Yeah, I'll read it. Oh, yeah, I'll read it. And then I finally go to read it. I don't even read the book that's on my shelf. I read it on my Kindle.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? That means that your book is just in pristine condition.
Yes.
Yeah. I do that sometimes because sometimes I like to read in bed and I don't always like to have my light on, and sometimes my book light's dead or I don't know where it's at. So the Kindle's just easier.
Book lights don't stay on your books right.
They really don't. And so like I get sick of fighting with it. So like I'm just gonna read it on my Kindle because I know it's on the Kindle. But I'll still like stamp my book because I'm like, I did read it, because sometimes I go back and forth because I like to take it to work. Oh, yeah. I don't always like to take my iPad to work because I don't trust people. Even though my iPad's ancient, it's fine.
But
I just use it for reading. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in my defense, when I bought the book, I did not have a Kindle. So that wasn't an option for me.
It's true.
But now it is. And now, like I've been saying that I was going to start The Great Big Beautiful Life. Still haven't. Because I just keep reading the books on my Kindle. So I went to start it the other day, and I was so tired, and I couldn't keep my eyes.
It's fine.
So I took a nap instead.
You know what? That's your prerogative. Sometimes a nap is what you need.
Honestly, though, I don't know what was wrong with me. I was so tired.
You just have those days. It's fine. You're human.
Yes.
Right. We jump into this. Oh God, you guys. Well, just look at my notes really quick.
Holy shit, dude.
Oh, that's not it. That's it.
Oh wait, there's more.
Yeah, these were all pretty much my intrusive thoughts about what was going on in the book. Wrote it down.
I need to be better about doing that while I read. Because there are so many times that I'll be reading, I'll be like, what the fuck? And then I'll be like, I need to tell somebody about this. And then I just keep reading.
I do the same thing, and I only did it with this because that's when we were talking about starting this podcast, and I was like, all right, then I'm going to take notes on it, just to be safe. And it's just been chilling there, but I'm happy about it because it's going to refresh my memory. It's still pretty fresh.
Yeah, I just read this one, so it's there for me.
Yeah, mine was like 2 months ago, I think. It was right after I visited you.
Yeah.
Yeah, around, roughly. But yeah, so...
But it's so funny, because, when I went to read this book, I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, neither did I. I honestly
didn't read the blurb. Everyone just said it was good, so I was like, all right, I'll read it.
Well, and then, from right here, when it says from behind closed doors, she sees everything. I assumed the housemaid was, the bad guy. She did something.
Me too. I was like, oh, she's getting in on everybody's, dirty secrets. She's, blackmailing people. That was my, thought. I'm like, oh, she's bad lady.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I thought, too.
Even that little blurb, I feel like it's so misleading as to what happened. I mean,
it's fitting, though, because she is the plot twist queen. So, looks can be deceiving, because, it spooked me, because I was like, ew, she's just watching through a keyhole? That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. What a creep. What a creep.
Who does that, you psychopath?
Psychopath?
Keeping calm? No, this is why, I don't have a door, so no one can do that, but...
Creepy.
Creepy. Alright, so The Housemaid.
Oh, The Housemaid.
By Miss Freida McFadden.
Miss Freida. The book was good. The book was definitely good. I think for me, it was harder to get into The Housemaid because I just read The Boyfriend. And The Boyfriend was so good.
I think the thing with Freida's books, I don't think you can read them back to back unless it's like the series like The Housemaid, where it's like they're made for that essentially. But all of her books are they're different in the sense of like the storyline. Yeah, like the storyline's different, the outcome's different. So I think it's hard to read her books back to back because you'll have like the boyfriend, for example, in your head as you're reading like Never Lie, for example, and you'll be like, oh, well, this is just mid compared to the boyfriend, or vice versa. Be like, the boyfriend's mid compared to Never Lie. I think it just depends. I think you need to space them.
Yeah, I think I definitely read them too close together.
Yeah. This is just my learning experience with her books, and that's why I read like 3 or 4 books in between her books.
Yeah, hindsight I should have, but then everyone's like, read The Housemaid, read The Housemaid. I'm like, okay, fine. Like, I've had this book on my shelf for 3 years. I should read it.
Well, and the movie's coming out, I think this year?
I forgot there was a movie. Let's look it up.
Yeah, and I really wanted to read it before the movie came out.
Is it, Anne No, that's the Bitch Faces book. No, not
Verity.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Amanda and Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney, yes. I think she's going to be the maid.
And Amanda, I can never say her last name.
Amanda Seyfried?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, it comes out this year.
Yeah, I thought it came out this year.
It's coming out on Christmas.
Okay, I thought it was Christmas, but I wasn't sure. I thought I had just dreamt that again. Like, I'm telling you guys, I have the weirdest freaking dreams.
Okay, let's look at... Oh my gosh. This is exciting.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. Why are all the good movies coming out at the end of this fucking...
Something to look forward to for the end of the year, right?
So, Sydney Sweeney is going to be Millie, so she's the housemaid. And Amanda is going to be Nina. Oh, no. That makes me sad.
What?
Brandon Skellner, the guy who played Atlas, he's going to be Andrew. I kind of hate that. No.
How do I feel about that?
It makes me sad. I think he'll do a great job.
He will. He'll do a phenomenal job.
But it makes me so sad.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that we've kind of just put a bunch of random character names out there, we should probably tell you what this is about.
Yeah, sorry.
So The Housemaid is about this girl named Millie who just recently got out of prison or jail, one of the two. I forget which one.
I think it was jail.
I think it was jail. She got out of jail after 10 years of being there, and she's looking for a job, and she has this like
parole for good behavior.
Yeah, she's on parole. She has this probation officer who has been like helping her find a job and housing and all that stuff. And she had a job at a bar, but she got fired because she punched a guy in the nose. But she didn't tell her probation officer that because she would have gotten like in a lot of trouble.
Well, if she didn't have a job or a place to live, she would have been sent back to jail because that would have broken her parole.
Exactly. And so Millie gets an interview for a housemaid position, and I believe it's advertised as a live-in housemaid position.
Yes.
To this couple called the Winchesters. And it's a super rich family. She pulls up in her like beat up little Nissan and goes in there.
We've all been there.
We've all been there, yeah. And so she gets this interview, and then she ends up getting hired. So Millie takes this job as a housekeeper for this rich family, the Winchesters, and they seem really nice. And then as she's getting a tour of the house, she goes up to the attic, and the attic is like super creepy. And she notices when they're touring that there's a lock to the attic, but it's on the outside of the door, not on the inside of the door, which is sketch as fuck. So that's like the basis of it. And Nina's being super welcoming, super friendly, super like, I'm gonna be your best friend. Like we're gonna love having you. Yeah, like we need the help. Meanwhile, the house looks pristine at this point in time.
Yeah, like, she's like, why do you need a housemaid?
Yeah, and why do you need me to live here? And Nina's like, and we also have a daughter, so like childcare from time to time will be needed. I hope that's okay with you. She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Hire me. I need this.
You obviously didn't do a background check, like hire me before you can say no, please.
Yeah. And then she was surprised when she got the phone call saying that she did get hired, because she's like, I wonder if she did a background check or not. And if she did, maybe she doesn't care. I guess we'll find out.
But I'm not going to bring anything up.
Yeah, like I'm not going to be the one to say that. So the day comes, she moves in, everything's okay when she pulls up, but then she meets this gardener landscape guy named Enzo.
Oh, Enzo.
And as she's walking in, Enzo is trying to warn her. He's just like, no, don't go in there. Like, don't go in there. Mind you, he's Italian and he's speaking like broken English, essentially. And he's just like, not safe, not safe. And she's like,
okay, dude, you're crazy.
okay. And continues to walk in. When she walks in, the house is a total disaster from what she saw like a couple days prior.
Before. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, what the hell happened here? Like, there were like clothes everywhere. Yeah, the kitchen was thrashed and gross. Like, everything was just disgusting. And so Nina starts getting to work really quick. She's doing the laundry, cleaning the kitchen, doing the dishes. And that's when we meet Cecilia a little bit after she cleans the whole place. And Cecilia is Nina and Andrew Winchester's daughter. And Andrew is Nina's husband. And so Cecilia walks in, she sees her. Oh my God, I know. She sees her. She's super rude to her, just kind of like, who are you? And then she's like, oh, I'm Millie. I'm the new housemaid. She's like, oh, I'm hungry. Just being like a little brat.
Like, that's very like little kid though. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Why are you in my house? Okay, I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's true. And so Millie's like, all right, whatever. So, in my notes, I wrote, the daughter, Cecilia Winchester, is a little see you next Tuesday.
Reminded me of the little girls from The Shining.
And they were see you next Tuesdays. Sorry, not sorry. This little girl was a brat.
Yeah.
It's justified, but she was a brat.
Oh, God. Millie decides, okay, like, I'll make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets, like, the sandwich ready, and she brings it to her, and Millie, like, freaks out, or not Millie,
Cecilia
freaks out, because she's like, I'm allergic to peanut butter. And she's like, what? No, like, your mom didn't tell me that. Like, she said you love peanut butter. And so then Cecilia runs to her mom, like, freaking out, screaming, crying, saying, Mama, she's trying to kill me.
Yeah. She literally said to her mom, she almost killed me. And Nina's like, what? You almost killed my daughter? And Nina did a complete 180 on Millie from the time she met. And, like, I wrote in my notes, Nina is a psychopath and gaslights the fuck out of Millie all the time.
Yeah. So one thing you didn't mention about when she had the interview, Millie wore like fake glasses to make her look like smarter. And that was the first thing Nina clocked when she showed up. She's like, oh, where are your glasses? And she's like, oh, I have contacts. And she was like, huh.
Like, oh, where are they?
Yeah, like up in her business. And she's like, yeah, don't lie to me. And so then Cecilia runs up and she's like, she tried to kill me. She tried to give me peanut butter. And Nina was like, I told you she was allergic. And she's like, no, you didn't. And she's like,
the fuck you didn't?
Yes, I did. Of course I would tell you. And she's like, then why the fuck would you have a giant jar of peanut butter in your house?
Yeah, that part. Especially a peanut allergy. Those are so dangerous. Like, if one of my kids or somebody in my house was allergic to peanut butter, bet your ass there would be no peanut butter within like a mile of my house.
Yeah. And so she was like, okay, sorry. Like, I must have like forgot that. Like, I won't forget again. Like, I'm so sorry. And
Nina was basically like, don't let it happen again.
Yeah. She's like, duh, you're going to kill my kid. Don't fucking let it happen.
Yeah. Well, and then what was weird is Millie offered to throw out the peanut butter, but Nina was like, no, it's fine. Just sit there. And it's like, well, that's weird. Why would you keep peanut butter if your daughter's allergic? What if she got into it?
Daughter's gonna die.
Yeah, because Cece is like, what, 6 or 7, something like that?
I felt like she was a little bit older.
She's pretty young. Like, she's below 10.
Yes.
So, yeah. And then we meet Andrew Winchester, which is the husband, and he is very seemingly normal when Millie first sees him. She's like, oh, he's really like cool and normal and casual, but seems to be like delusional when it comes to his wife. Like
how psycho she is.
And yeah, like he always had a reason to justify her.
He's like, oh, she's been so stressed lately with like the PTA, give her a break.
Because Nina doesn't work. It's just Andrew that works.
Yeah, he has like a corporate.
Yeah, he's like the head boss of something. Yeah. Like CEO, essentially. Something along those lines. And then we take a little side gander, getting to know some people. And Enzo, the nice Italian landscaper, is seemingly afraid of Nina and, you know, tries to warn Millie away from the house. Millie doesn't listen because she just needs the money and the place to live.
Yeah.
Like, that's all she's like searching for. She's like, I just need this job. Like, that's it. It's
The
whatever.
stability to not live in her car anymore, so she doesn't get sent back to jail.
She just needed to work to save up enough money to get her own place. Like, she didn't plan on staying there long. She just needed to get enough to like save up because they were paying her a pretty decent amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, nothing to be like, that's it. We're just like, she even said was like, cool, that's what I'm making? Cool.
Like, cool, I can get my own shit back together in no time.
Yeah.
So a few days go by, and Millie had cleaned the house, and then she hears like banging and crashing in the kitchen, and Nina's in there ripping it the fuck apart. Like, tearing shit out of the fridge, like the milk, and throwing it on the floor, throwing glasses and cups and bowls, and like the moment she sees Millie, she's like, where the fuck did you put it? And she's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, my PTA notes. Like, they were on the counter. What did you do with them? And she's like, they weren't there. And she's like, oh, so now you're saying that I'm lying?
Literally gaslighting her.
So bad.
For no reason.
And so then Andrew, like, hears everything, and he comes in, and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, she threw my stuff away, and I worked so hard. And he's like, well, didn't you have a copy of it on your computer? Oh, yeah. Thanks, honey. And then left, and she, like, turns back to Millie, and she's like, clean this up.
Yeah. She immediately goes to, like, playing the scared victim and runs into her husband's arms, and he's like, well, I'm sure it's on, like, you know, what hard drive or something like that. And he's just like, okay. And then, like, again, shifts, and then is just this evil person to Millie, and you're like, what did I miss? Like, I was saying that a lot. I was like, did something happen that I just like skimmed over or missed? Because like, why is she treating her this way? And Andrew, being the nice guy he was, offered to help her clean up, but Millie insisted no.
And he helped anyway, and she was impressed because he knew where the broom was.
Yes.
What a fucking bare minimum for a man to know where the fucking broom is. Ew. Ick. Ugh. That part, I was like, bitch, that impresses you? Like, I understand you're young, but no.
I mean, she wasn't even that young, though.
But she was and she wasn't, because she was naive to life, because she was in jail from, like, 18.
Like, 16 to 18.
Through that, like, time in your life where you learn so much.
Yeah.
And so she's, like, mentally, like, not...
Oh, yeah. And something else important to note, Nina purchased a phone for her and added her to the family plan. So that's like
a nice smartphone.
Yeah, like an iPhone status type thing, you know? And so Millie was like, oh, cool, I've never had a phone before.
Also, something we didn't mention when she moved in, her room is the creepy attic.
Oh, yeah. Or we talked about the attic, but I never said that was her room.
Yeah,
so she lived in that creepy attic that had to lock on the outside of it.
And a window too small to get through.
Yep. Just picture like a tiny attic window. You know, that's... Yeah.
Yeah, it was described as like a small room with a bucket in the closet, a lock on the outside, and the only light is in the middle of the room with like one of those string, like the cord lights.
Yep, like just a singular light bulb, and you like a creepy closet light, you know? And that's what it was. And so, yeah, Andrew ends up helping her clean up, and they start bonding a little bit and talking. And that's when he's telling her, like, Nina's just been really stressed lately. Like, that wasn't necessary for her to go like that crazy. He's like, I know basically you didn't touch those things. Like, she probably misplaced them somewhere.
Yeah, not blaming you.
He was aware that she was crazy, but he didn't acknowledge that.
But he also justified, like, he made excuses for it.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. And then there's one night a little bit later on that Andrew and Millie are hanging out in the downstairs living room because Millie just wanted to watch TV and everybody was asleep, and it was like 2 a.m. So she's like, I'm just gonna go watch some TV. Like, you know, they told me to make myself at home, so I'm just gonna go downstairs and watch TV. And then
I don't have a TV in my room. Like, the room doesn't have great cell phone service.
Yeah, so she wanted to just go downstairs while everyone was asleep. And Andrew woke up and he came downstairs too, and he ends up joining her. And then the subject of peanut butter came up, and Millie was like saying to like talking about the peanut butter thing because he starts making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and she was like, oh, like make sure like you don't touch your daughter then, you know, because, like, I know she's allergic to peanut butter. And Andrew laughed and was like, she's not allergic to peanut butter. And then Millie was like, oh, really? And Andrew was like, you think I wouldn't know what my daughter is allergic to? Like, kind of like, not mean, but just kind of like,
how dare you think I don't know my kid?
Yeah. And so she was like, oh, huh. So she's thinking that Nina and the Spawn lied to her about her being allergic to peanut butter and that they're both gaslighters. I told you my notes are unhinged. But yeah, she was like, they're just both gaslighters, and that Nina's basically just a certified whack job.
Well.
And leading to that, she basically is a certified whack.
Yeah. Well, Nina comes down while they're on the couch hanging out, and like crazy eyes, jealousy.
Freaks the fuck out.
Why are you down here? Go up to your room. Don't come down here.
Because it's also, I guess we missed this part. It's also important to note that Millie is a very beautiful looking woman.
Young, attractive girl.
Young, attractive.
Okay, well, they casted Sydney Sweeney for her, so there you go. That's how she's described in the book.
And if you know anything about Sydney Sweeney, she's got some big hoo-hoos. So, and Nina, in the book, they say that she's a little bit thicker. Like, not necessarily fat, but, like, she's just thicker.
She gained weight.
Yes. Because Millie found pictures of them from years ago, and she looked similar to what Millie looks like now. But, yeah, Nina's gained some weight, so she was a little insecure. It sounded like. It seemed like in this scenario that she was very insecure about them being alone together, even though nothing was happening. Like, it was purely innocent this time.
And your husband's hanging out with a much younger lady in your living room at 2 a.m.
And the maid, because, you know, you just hear so many stories.
So, Andrew is like, okay, it's fine. I was just coming down for a drink of water and a snack. Like, I'll come up and go to bed. And he leaves his water cup on the coffee table. And then she goes up to bed. And the next morning, Nina flips the fuck out on her. Why would you leave the living room such a mess? From the one cup that was left on the
singular cup
on the coffee table.
Yeah.
And I think after that, Nina has like friends over for like a breakfast, like a lunch thing, whatever.
It's like a brunch thing. Yes. And she puts together. She puts together this like little brunch thing, but she doesn't give Millie quite enough notice, and Millie has like a couple hours to like clean off the outside furniture and
then also go pick up like the catered food.
And then Andrew sees her because she's kind of having a dilemma outside, and she's just like frozen because she just doesn't know what to do first. And that's when Andrew kind of gives a little background on Nina and Cece, and is like, because Cece's home and so is Andrew, and he gives a little background and says that Cece's not his biological daughter. Like, he met Nina when she already like had the baby type of thing. And then this is when he tells her about Nina's incident, right?
No, she hears it from the PTA people.
Okay.
So they're all at this, like, they're at, okay, and before this, like, Nina has been a little crazy, but she still treats Millie like a friend.
Yes.
They're like, oh, we can be friends. And so then when these PTA people come, she like completely ignores Millie and treats her like the help.
Literally.
Like, how dare you talk? Like, I didn't talk to you. And they're all like, the rich, like, oh, Nina, you would hire someone like that. Like, while she's standing right there. And she's like, oh, this is cool. Love this for me. And Nina is like eating a bunch, and like, they make a comment. They're like, oh, wow. She's like, oh, no, like, it's for the baby. And everyone is like,
pregnant.
What? She's like, well, no, like, we don't have a baby. I'm not pregnant yet, but we're trying. Like, there is gonna be a baby.
Yeah, like, we're gonna have a baby. And they're like, oh, okay. And then she had to go get something from inside, and she excuses herself.
That's when the rich people shit talk starts.
Yep.
And because, like, they're so rich and they pay no mind to Millie standing there. So Millie is just like, let me eavesdrop.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna listen to this. And that's when,
they talk about how she had, like, a full psych break and went crazy and almost killed her daughter. and had to be put in the psych ward for a few weeks.
Yeah. So it's like, it's no wonder she's on antipsychotics and gaslights Billy all the time.
You're like, oh, check out. She's a psychopath. He tried to kill her own kid. Like, how could you do that?
Certified whack job, like I said.
Certified whack job.
And yeah, so she's like, oh, okay. And then she's kind of realizing why Andrew is justifying all of her actions.
But then it also, like, irritates her because she's like, he's so nice. Like, he doesn't deserve this crap. Like, he should just take her daughter and leave. Like, take her out. She shouldn't be around them. They can do so much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the while her daughter, like, just treats Millie like crap all the time.
Literally all the time. And yeah, so as everything progresses, you know, Andrew helps Millie get everything together for the brunch, picked up all the catering. Nina didn't know this. Like, Nina had no idea because Nina would have flipped her lid if she found out that Andrew helped her. Because she would have been like, well, then what are we paying you for? Because she loved to mention that anytime she could.
Like, this is what we're paying you to do it.
Exactly. And it's clear that you can see Andrew kind of has the hots for the maid. Surprise, surprise. Maid fantasy.
That
Anybody?
tension, like, starts building between them.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. And she's trying to be really like, no, you're married.
Yeah, especially,
this is okay.
Like, she's gonna want at dinner because he's not home because he works. Or, like, they come home from dinner, he comes home at dinner time and she prepares meals for them. And he's like, oh my gosh, like, Millie, this smells so good. Join us for dinner. And she's like, no, I'm just gonna go eat in my room. Because then there's Nina on the other side of the room being like, I'm not fucking murdering you, bitch.
Oh, yeah. You see her look at her every time he asks her to, like, join them for dinner. She's just immediately, like, glaring. And Millie's like, no, I'm just gonna go eat in my room or just stay in here and eat. Like, it's fine. I'm fine. Which I'd be the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be like,
yeah.
Not gonna make life harder on myself.
Yeah. And then, like, shortly after the brunch day happens, you know, Nina keeps telling everybody that she and Andrew are gonna have a baby soon. And, because she is a little bit pudgier, people keep thinking that she's pregnant. And she's like, no, I'm not pregnant, man. And it's like, I'd get offended too, not gonna lie. Yeah. And so they end up going to, like, this fertility specialist, and it turns out that she's too old to get pregnant, which breaks her heart, but truly breaks Andrew's heart because he really wants a baby. Like, he wants
a kid of his own.
Yeah. As much as he loves Cece, and he says that to Millie. He's like, I love her. Like, she is my daughter. And if I can't have one, whatever. He's like, but I would really like my own too. Like, I want some of my own DNA.
I want to be a dad.
Yeah. And, as you said, Nina loved to degrade Millie in front of her peers, especially in front of Andrew.
Yeah.
She would definitely make her feel like she's less than any chance she could.
But all the while, when she was telling everybody she was pregnant, they had told Andrew's mom.
Yes.
That they were trying. And so Andrew's mom sent them a big, big box full of all of Andrew's baby stuff. And that stuff arrived the day that they found out that they couldn't have a child.
Yep. And Andrew initially thought it was stuff for Cece because he was like, my mom likes to spoil Cece with a bunch of stuff, like, every so often. And then he opened the box and got, like, all quiet. And he was like, Nina can't see this. And so, like, Nina's been on a fucking bender because she's been so upset about the whole fertility thing. And Andrew just wants to cheer up his wife because he's such a good husband, you know? Like, she just raves about how good of a husband he is. So he has Millie buy them Broadway show tickets, which Nina tells Millie to get on a certain weekend so that she can, so that they can go.
2 Sundays from now.
Yeah. And so Millie gets the tickets, but
and books, like, the Hilton,
a non-refundable,
yeah.
It's all non-refundable.
A nice hotel, Broadway show, front row.
Yeah, all that shit. And so Millie gets the tickets, but Nina told her the wrong weekend. Even though, according to Nina, Millie is the one who fucked up. And then Nina threatens to take what the weekend cost out of Millie's paycheck, which would have been the entirety of Millie's paycheck, essentially.
And then some.
But Andrew, hearing this, he has a hero complex, it sounds like.
Yes, very much.
And he comes in and saves the day saying like he can sweet talk them into getting a refund, which makes Nina super happy. And she's like, okay, all right, that's fine.
Like, oh, this is why I married you. Get that.
Yeah, because the weekend that Millie ended up purchasing, which is the weekend Nina told her to purchase,
Was when
Nina's
she
not
had
going to be there.
DC to science camp or whatever.
Yeah, some sort of like summer camp because school's out for the summer at this point.
Week camp.
Yeah, it's a week-long camp, and so she had to take her there. So she's like, I can't go. And then, but once Andrew comes and saves the day, she's like, okay,
we'll plan it for another time. So during that period, Nina has been treating Millie like extra shitty. And so Andrew decides like, hey, I couldn't get a refund, but you and a friend should take these tickets and go.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh no, like I can't do that. Like, I can't take those. That's too expensive. He's like, no, I'm serious. And she's like, well, I don't have any friends.
Yeah, like, I have nobody I could even take with me if I wanted to.
And that's when he's like, well, we'll go. And she's like, I think that's a good idea.
She felt some type of way about it, but not like the good some type of way. She's like, I see this going so bad. Like, nothing good will come out of this.
And I'm going to get fired, and it's going to be over.
Something important to note, though, that we did forget to mention is shortly after Millie moved in, Nina gifted her a bag of all of her old clothes that she can't fit.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I did forget about that. Yeah, she's like, oh, these don't fit me anymore, but like they'll fit you. Like, why don't you keep them instead of me like taking them to the thrift store or whatever?
Yeah.
Because you could use
them. They're all just super nice clothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Millie gladly accepts it.
So,
Andrew wants to take her to the Broadway show, and she's like, oh God.
Oh God. I can't do that. And he's like, yeah, we can. Like, she's not gonna know. She's out of town. Don't worry about it. And she's like, well, shit. Like, she finally agrees, and she's like, well, what am I gonna wear? And then she remembers, oh, I have these bags of clothes.
Yes.
And she finds, like, this, like, not skimpy, it's classy. Like,
it's classy, but she accidentally makes it look a little skimpy because she's a curvy woman. Is that type of deal. Like, she has, I think it's noted that she has, like, more curves than Nina did.
Yeah. And their plan was to go to dinner, go see the Broadway show, or go to the Broadway show, go to dinner, come home. They weren't going to stay the night in the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And the dress showed a lot of leg. Something important right there.
And so then she's like, okay, finally, like, they'll go. And they go, and they sit at the Broadway show, and they're about to, like, turn off their phones, and she gets a text from Nina. Don't forget to put out the trash.
Yep. And so she's like,
oh, fuck, like, I forgot to put out the trash. She's gonna know that we weren't there. And he's like, it's fine. Like, we're gonna get back later tonight. Like, she won't know.
Yeah, she won't know, but we'll get them when we get home. And she's like, okay, cool. And then after the Broadway show, they go to a fancy French restaurant because Andrew's like, I'm hungry. You hungry? Let's go get some food. And she's like, oh, okay. And then they start to drink some wine, a little too much wine.
A lot of wine.
And Andrew already had some wandering eyes all over Millie wearing that outfit. And his wandering eyes turn into one.
Right. Under the table.
And then he understands he drank a little too much wine. So they can't drive.
No, I can't drive back home.
Yeah.
He's like,
so we gotta stay.
Hotel, but I'll buy my own room.
Mm-hmm. In my notes, after I put Andrew's wandering eyes turn into wandering hands, I put Bound Chicka Wow Wow by Mike Posner plays. We all know what happens next.
Yeah, pretty much. So they go to the hotel room, and of course, he doesn't get another one.
Conveniently, they're all out.
They're booked up. And there's only one bed.
Oh no! Guess we gotta sleep in the same bed.
And do the nasty.
Oops.
Whoops. Shit just got complicated.
So, the nasty happens. The next morning, they wake up, and Andrew is like, yo, Shardy, I don't regret our sex. And Millie is like, yeah, same. You're hot. Of course, I have no regrets. That's how I interpreted that.
Yo, Shardy, I do not regret.
Immediately when he said they wake up and they look at each other, and he was like, I don't regret that.
He's like, I'm not even sorry.
I'm not sorry. And she's like, same.
And then they had the realization of, fuck, now we have to go back home and deal with this crazy bitch. And we forgot to put trash cans out.
Yep, and Nina comes home the same day they go home. And so they
And
drive back
so
home
they're
before Nina
deeply
returns. Yep, basically. And then Nina gets back and apparently went on a shopping spree and made Millie put the bags away for her. And, that's a lot of fucking bags. And Millie's struggling to carry the bags upstairs. And then Nina has the audacity to say to Millie that she's starting to look a little soft and she should go to the gym. Basically, calling the kettle black, ma'am. What? Excuse me?
And then
And even Millie is like,
she makes the comment, "Oh, what did you guys do last night? I tried calling the house at 11 and nobody answered." And she was like,
she, I think, played like, oh, I went to bed early because I just wanted to get some sleep. I was tired. I just wanted to sleep some more. She's like, I don't know where Andrew was.
Yeah, kind of threw him under the bus, but
she did, but I would have been the same. I'd have been like, I was upstairs all night. Like, I was in my room.
I don't know what happened. I don't got service up there.
Yeah. So, like, if you tried to call me, you're shit out of luck.
Can't answer. But the trash got taken out. You're welcome.
Yeah. And then, so a couple days later, they're awkward, but they're, like, trying to actively avoid each other. Or, like, she's actually avoiding Andrew. And she's doing it pretty successfully, mind you.
Yes.
And Millie's making dinner, and then she, like, serves it all up. And as she's leaving, the stupid bitch Nina decides to just very casually be like, so, Millie, what is prison food like? And Andrew didn't know that she went to prison, so Millie is fucking
and Millie didn't
mortified.
know that Nina knew either.
Yeah, so Millie's caught off guard, mortified, and I wrote in my notes, I hope she poisons Nina's food now. And so she's just like, just frozen in place, and Andrew's just like,
what the fuck?
Gaping mouth, like, huh? It was literally the TikTok sound, the huh.
Huh? Well, didn't he go like, what do you, like, why would she know that?
Yeah, he was like, well, Nina. And then that's when Nina was like, oh, she was in prison for 10 years.
Do you want to tell us why?
And then Millie just, like, bolts it and runs.
Bolts it up the stairs.
Yeah.
And after that, like, Andrew fucking lost it. He's like, I'm done. Like, I'm sick of you treating everybody like fucking garbage. Get out. Get your kid. Get the fuck out of my house. Like, we're done.
Yeah. And then, but before that, or like after that, or whatever, Millie goes to her room, and I'm gonna quote my notes on this one. Millie, the stupid, silly little girl, kept the playbill from the Broadway show.
Oh, yeah. And it was out on her bed.
Yep. And who should go snooping through her room? You know it. It's Miss Nina Winchester. Yeah. And she sees that the playbill is on her dresser when she knows she kept it in her purse. For this reason. Like, then that's why she brought up the prison food.
Because she knew.
Yep. So she's like, oh, okay. So this is... She went all in. She threw her whole thing in. And, then later, Andrew is sitting on the porch and Millie joins him. And being the man he is, and he likes to flirt with death, apparently, he kicked Millie out on the porch. The light was on. Anybody could have seen. Like, there was no curtain drawn or anything in the sliding glass door. So, yeah. And then Millie goes inside because she's like, Nina's going to catch us. Like, we can't do this here. Like, she's afraid of Nina, basically. So, which rightfully so.
Nina knows her secrets. She can send her back to jail. I would be too.
Yeah, fuck your life up. And Nina, that bitch, strikes again. She's being the sadistic freak that she is. And is creeping around Millie's already creepy ass hallway. And it's just like she knows. She knows. Yep, I literally wrote insert she knows sound. And then these are where the clothes come back into play. Because after the next morning, after, Nina went snooping around Millie's room, she accuses Millie of stealing all of her old small clothes from her and brings them downstairs. She's like, what's this, Millie?
And she's like, what
you
the fuck?
Stole all my clothes?
You gave me these. Like, why would I give these to you?
And that's when Andrew really has like his fill with Nina.
That's right.
And he steps in, stands up for Millie, and says, listen, Neenster, those haven't fit you in years. Millie didn't steal them. You gave them to her. I watched you bag them up and talk about wanting to donate them. Like, Nina just has it out for Millie. And Nina tries to play, like, the whole, oh, well, I guess I did. like trying to forget.
Yeah.
And then the first plot twist happens. Andrew says he is not in love with Nina anymore and has feelings for Millie, and that's when he kicks Nina to the curb. And Cecilia, because that's when he's like, she's not my daughter, she's your daughter.
Bye.
Yeah. He's like, not my responsibility. And then as Nina's, leaving, making a scene, mind you, while she's leaving, she whispers a threat into Millie's. And then as soon as Nina leaves, Andrew has his way with...
And she's happy because she doesn't have to live in the fucking attic anymore.
Yep. And then, the next day rolls around, they wake up in their haze, and then Millie gets 2 unknown calls. And we all know that they're most likely from Nina. It's just likely that way. And then Andrew decides to fire Enzo because he hates him and how often he's there. He hates it. He's like, he's just here too much. He's weird. I don't like him. I'm going to fire him.
Which is so weird.
It's so weird. And Andrew leaves for the day after he fires Enzo. Enzo hasn't quite left yet. And Enzo, sneaky little minx, can speak pretty fluent English. And he warns Millie that she needs to leave because she's in terrible danger and tries to tell her something about Nina. Oh no, Andrew didn't left. He was about to leave and he interrupts and he's like, what are you doing? I thought I told you to leave.
Yeah.
Enzo's the true hero here.
Honestly, though, Enzo's the real MVP.
Then Nina somehow manages to strike again. Millie runs into one of Nina's snobby friends at the store and she lets it slip that Nina installed a tracking app on Millie's phone that she generously gave to Millie and has been calling her on blocked numbers to harass her.
Oh, yeah, because she's like, oh, well, didn't you understand, like, how she knew everywhere she was? And she's like, oh, I let it slip. Sorry.
Yeah. And then Millie's like, full panic, like, what the fuck?
So she goes into the phone, turns it off.
Yeah. And then that set Millie into, like, another rage. And so Millie, being the feisty little tiger she is, she took all of her stuff from her Harry Potter room and moved it into Andrew's house officially, like into
It's her
the
Harry
room.
Potter room.
It was. You can't tell me it wasn't. It was a glorified Harry Potter closet.
You're right. It was just up the stairs, not under them.
Yes. And then Andrew comes home before she can finish moving all of her stuff out of the room. And Andrew, being the horny little toad that he is, has his way with Millie on her tiny little cot. And then they fall asleep. But when Millie wakes up at like 3 to go to the bathroom, he's gone. She doesn't think anything of it, really. And then she finds out that her door is locked from the outside.
And
that's the end of part 1.
Ugh.
That was just the first half, you guys. Like, what?
That wasn't even... I'm pretty sure there's 3 parts of that book.
Oh, yeah.
Only a third.
I think so, yeah. So that's just part 1.
And that's the end of part 1. And it was a lot to unpack. So we're going to break this episode, or this book, into 2 episodes because it's a hefty book. Like, even though the book is small, like, it's not a very big book, there's a lot to unpack here. So we decided we're gonna separate this into a 2-parter. So to hear the second half of The Housemaid, you'll have to come back next week for part 2 and 3 of The Housemaid. Yeah, it's a lot. We're gonna split it.
It's a lot. Yeah. So see you next week with part 2 and 3.
And if you or anyone you know has been in a domestic violence situation or need help, please reach out to the domestic violence hotline. Their number is 1-800-799-7233. There's also a texting option. You can text BEGIN to 8878. You shouldn't have to deal with this by yourself. There's so many people out to help you. Don't let these abusers take anything more from you that they already have. Like, they don't deserve that. You deserve to have the life that you want to live without them. And there are so many people out to help you. So please reach out. They're here to help.
Yes. Here to help. You don't deserve
have to do it
that
alone.
life. No.
But thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of 2 Peas Potting. Like and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and like and subscribe to our YouTube. Kylie, you want to share our handle? Oh!
_peas_potting. I got it right.
2 Peas Potting on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Like and follow. Tell us what books you want to hear next. And we'll try to do the other books in one episode. But there was just a lot to unpack here. But
this was a lot. And yeah, our handle, the 2 peas potting, the
underdash? Hashtag underdash.
Just said it. Underscores. You know what I mean.
If you've listened to all of our other episodes, you know what we mean at this point. The good old underdash. But
anyways,
thanks for joining. 2 peas potting. Bye.
Bye.